Okay, this is a synopsis of my Chapter 9 application, and I had scenario 2 with a 30-year-old single dad with 2 kids and a full-time job. And starting off with the FIT principle, um, for frequency, I had him starting off with just 2 to 3 um, workout sessions per week, and then increasing it every other week until he reached 5 workout sessions a week. And for intensity, um, first he needs to figure out which level of intensity he needs to begin with. So we can do this by finding his maximum heart rate. So by taking 220 and subtracting his age, which is 30, it would make his maximum heart rate of 190. So then we'd want to adjust his workout routines to keep his heartbeat in the range for the specific level of intensity that he needs. So his target heart rate would be between 95 and 133 beats per minute. So we would need to adjust what he was doing to make sure that he stayed in between those. Or we could also use the Borg scale of perceived exertion to figure out which level of intensity would be best for him. And for the type of activity, I think that since he has a full-time job and 2 kids and he's on his own, he's gonna have like a wide variety of things to do. And I think some things that he could do were like maybe one night him and his kids, they went on a walk. Or maybe one day they went to go swimming at like maybe a community pool or something. And then it's important for him to incorporate as many muscle groups as possible. So maybe the first time when him and his family go walking, they just walk normally. And maybe the next time he like has a wagon and he pulls his kids sit in it, so it's more it's going to focus more on his leg and arm musculature for that. And if he was to swim, just focusing more on the type of strokes to incorporate more arms and body together. And also for the type of activity, he needs to have specific days of just strength training exercises. So I think he could either find time when his kids are at school, maybe if he has time from work, or if his kids go to sports practices at night, he could find time to go to the gym and do workouts there, or he could even do it at home using like the weight of his kids, obviously carefully. But that's something I think that to be a way to get all of his family involved, so he's not just doing things on his own while his kids are kind of doing their own thing. And I also think that he should be stretching a lot. So either, like, say, just every morning he got up 10 minutes earlier and stretched just to kind of begin his day, or stretch before he goes to bed at night. And for type of activity, or time of activity, sorry, he should start with maybe just like 20 to 25 minutes every day that he does it, and then increase to 30 or 35 minutes for 5 days a week. And I think it's going to be important for him to know that since he's a single dad and has 2 kids and a full-time job, that some days he'll need to kind of split up the time. So maybe one morning he has time to get up and go like on a 10-minute jog around the block or something before his kids get up, or when they go to bed at night, or so he gets some done in the morning and then can come back to it later at night and maybe finish the rest of it with his kids. So that's kind of what I had for the FIT principle for the scenario. And for the scenarios in the PowerPoint, the one about the 17-year-old cross-country runner who wanted to know about creatine supplements, I I first would talk to them about what creatine is and what it does in the body and how it's used. So I think that would be the first thing for them to understand, was knowing about what it does for their body. Um, and I think the first thing for them to do would be to start um, adding foods into their diet that are high in creatine. So, like lean meat and fish are things in their diet that they could try to have more of, to see if that has an effect on the levels of creatine and see if that has an effect on their level of endurance, um, for things like that. And then if it doesn't help, they could try the creatine supplements, but I think it's important that they shouldn't just jump to it and just start taking the supplements. I think it's important for them to try to increase their creatine intake from their diet first and then try the supplements. Um, and for the 30-year-old female recreational runner who wanted to know about the carb loading for her 5K, and since she's a recreational runner, carbohydrate loading really isn't necessary, because she should be able to have enough um, carbohydrates in her body already from her normal diet, to support her exercise, to support her 5K that she wants to run in. And if that's not, I think she should just try to adjust her diet to kind of increase her carbohydrate intake, because I don't think really excessively carbohydrate loading is going to help her, that she should just be able to do it from her normal diet.